Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to Launchpad for 2016. And we are ready to get into product creation. So, hope that you all are ready. And we are going to, by the end of this month, we're going to get our product done because I'm going to be doing one right alongside with you. And you are going to actually complete yours. And the idea is for you to get something done and launched. So I hope that you are excited about the prospect. Maybe you have had something that you have been wanting to finish. Maybe you're all just about there, but you haven't had the encouragement. You haven't had the maybe the wherewithal to finish. Well, that's what this is really designed to do. And maybe you might have hit a technical wall. Maybe you might have hit a point where you don't deliver, don't know exactly how you're going to get it to the customer. Well, we're going to help you to overcome that during this product creation challenge we're calling Launchpad 2016. And so we're going to start tonight. And what I'm going to do is give you a little orientation based on where we left off in the 30-day challenge. If you took the 30-day challenge and you actually got through all the way to the end, then you already know where we left off. I'm going to kind of talk about that tonight, and then we're going to get started on the actual challenge. So if you actually, and also if you saw the last call that I did, the last webinar, you know that what this is going to be about. We're going to complete a product for you. Yeah. Okay. So Sharon, if you want to see, the only other thing that you might have missed, Sharon, would be the would be the webinar that I did maybe the other day, and you can find that at on my YouTube channel, and it is at .com/gain mindshare. And if you look at, I think it's called impromptu impromptu training from the other day, and the thing that you will have missed. And as well as most everybody who's here, you've already taken the 30-day challenge. If you're looking to do the 30-day challenge, let me know, and then I'll get you a link for that. Okay, so now let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into my presentation. And of course, I'll take questions at the end. The idea is not to keep you any longer than 45 minutes to an hour. And if that long. And so I'd really like to try to keep it down to 30 minutes if I can, and to make it so you'll have time to take the other 30 minutes, right, during the challenge to actually do and to implement, right? So the key to this, the key to success in the challenge is going to be speed of implementation. And so as long as you can implement quickly, you are going to be able to get your product done. And let's see, I'm going to jump into my slides here. And if you would, when you can see my slides, please let me know. Okay, Helen, we are starting right now. So hopefully you can hear me. Can everybody hear me? If you can hear me, please put the number 1 in the question box. I guess I should have put that in there. If you can hear me, please put the number 1 in the question box. Nope, there isn't anything else you need, Sharon. You will be able to take what you're learning there, and we're going to put it right into practice. Okay, great. So now, let's take it from where we left off at the end of the 30-day challenge, and I just want to kind of talk to you about creating a product. I think in the 30-day challenge, I laid out the case as to why you should be creating your own product. So I'm not gonna recover that ground. Let's kind of jump to where we left off there. And let's see, let me slide that up here. Okay, now this is where we left off at the 30-day challenge, and I want to kind of talk through this just for a second. And in terms of creating the product, have some reservations about creating a product that you might feel like, well, I don't really even have a big list. I don't necessarily even fully know where to get traffic, or I have a small list. I only have a few people that would be interested in buying the product. And actually that's going to be okay, right? The idea is for you to get started, right? And the reason that this is going to work, and this is going to work for you, is that we're going to be building a product snowball. And I have often talked about that in my webinars, that this product snowball is actually going to help you not only to get started, but by the time that you actually have affiliates, by the time that you actually have a portfolio, you are going to have people coming through your marketing funnel, and they're going to have more than one product to buy. And so even if you only have one buyer for this first product that you do, that's going to be fine, because you're going to continue to build a snowball. Because after the second product, you're going to have some people who are going to buy that next product just because they were on your list for the first one, right? And what's going to happen is you're going to have some people who bought the first and second product to buy the third one. And by the time you have three to four, and maybe even five products, I'm going to show you how easy this is in the challenge. What's going to happen is somebody is going to come through and they're going to buy products 1, 3, and 7, or 1, 3, and 5, just because they like what you had in the first one. And so the idea is for you to build a product snowball. It's not for you to get it all on one product. Now, what you can do, of course, is you can create a product and you can go out and get affiliates. But here is what I'm finding is that what that's going to do is delay you getting started, right? By trying to hit the big score. And so the idea here is for you to create and to get started. Does everybody understand what I mean by the product snowball and where we are right now? So if you understand this portion of it, where we left off, what I'm talking to you about right now, if you understand that, please put the number 2 in the question box. If you understand that. Okay, if you understand what I mean by creating a product snowball and where we left off, and that you don't have to hit a home run on this first product, that's not the idea. Now, how many of you would like to have had a product done, but for some reason, right, you would say, and I know this from my own experience, if you have been the one in your way, if you would say that you have been the number one person in your way to finishing and getting your product done, please put the number 3 in the question box. I can look at my level of production in 2015 and the number of products that I did not create. I can honestly say that Charles Harper was the person, right? Charles Harper was the person. It wasn't because I didn't have the knowledge. It wasn't because I didn't have the occasion. It was really Charles Harper that got in the way of getting that product done. And sometimes it's really because we really don't think, well, you know what? Nobody's going to buy. I'm going to put in all this effort and not everybody's going to buy it. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. And that's not really even the point of the first product. Right? So let's go ahead and dive in. And again, the idea in this challenge is for me to spend about 30 minutes with you, and then for you to get started on the assignment until the next challenge video. Now, in the last training, here's what I talked about. And I want to run through, right, that's right, Sam. I talked about this because traffic is not a problem. And we went over that at the end of the third, right? So how many of you on this call let's talk first. How many of you all are in the make money, business opportunity, internet marketing niche? If that's you, put the number 1 in the question box. If you're in the make money / business opportunity / internet marketing niche, put the number 1 in the question box. If you are not in that niche, put the number 2 in the question box, right? If you're not in that niche, right? Okay, so a lot of you are going to be in that particular niche. You're in the make money online niche. And so you already know that the people that you're going to be selling to want to make more money online, right? They want to make more money online. And so some of what you have to do is going to be a little easier in this challenge than for others. But it doesn't mean that you're going to have a smooth path, because it's going to be a little more competitive for you to get your product done. Now, let's kind of walk through this. We talked about the fact that you are going to have to decide today, right? Today, not putting this off anymore. You're going to have to decide who you want to sell to, right? Are you going to sell to people who want to make more money online? Right? If you're going to sell to these people, decide. And look, I want to tell you this. It doesn't matter. You can't break anything if you go into this niche, you create a product and it is a colossal failure. Right? Most of your products are going to be not so good. Right? Most of your products are not necessarily always going to be a big hit. So if you go into this niche and you create a product and let's say 1 or 2 people buy, it is not going to be the end of the world. And you listen to me carefully. You cannot break anything, right? You can't break something. So here's the thing. If you're going to sell to people who want to make more money online, you are going to have to know what's going on the Warrior Forum and other forums where people are talking about making money online. Now, again, when you're here, you're not looking there as somebody who wants to buy things, and you're not even looking there as somebody who wants to make friends or even position yourself as an expert. You need to go there and listen. Right? You need to go there and listen. And what are you listening for? You've got to figure out what are people talking about and what is it they want to do. The people that you may want to reach are talking on social media, right? They might be talking on their blogs or in videos. You can get people to your offer through solo ads. You can get people through Warrior Plus, and you can get people to your offer through training. Now, I just kind of want to run through this. I did go through this in the last webinar in terms of where you're going to get traffic from. But one of the most important parts of this is this second point. And so what you are going to need to do over the next day or so is find out in your niche to the best of your ability. And again, this does not have to be perfect. You've got to find out based on what you can deliver where people are having the most pain. Right? Are they having the most pain because they'd like to go out and they'd be able to find a job that you know how to find? Are they trying to lose weight in an area in an area that you already know about? Are they trying to parent kids in a way that you know how to do? Here Gerald has something good. Let's say that your niche is you're going to sell to other local marketers, or you're going to sell to small businesses. If you're going to sell to small businesses, they need to know how to get more sales. And they may need to know how to get more sales using the internet or not using the internet. And so you've got to find out what their pain point is. Maybe their pain point is they've got a lot of people and a lot of staff, but they still can't get more sales. Maybe their problem is that they've got plenty of Facebook likes, but they still can't get more sales. Maybe it is they're getting traffic to their website, but they can't convert that traffic to buying customers. Maybe they've got plenty of foot traffic, but they can't seem to convert it to customers. So when you decide on who your niche is, find their pain, right? Find the deepest, darkest, most difficult pain they have, and this is what you are going to speak to. You are going to convert these people into prospects. Now, I'm not going to get into traffic in this call because that's not what this is about. Now, I did talk about this in the last training that you really got to, right? You really got to get to where the pain is, and you got to go to the places where they're hanging out online and listen to them so that you know what to create your product about. right? So that you know what to do. Now, I'm going to fly through this. Again, this is from the last training that I did. Let's talk about the actual product creation. Okay, now, in the product that you are actually going to create, right, the most important part to this is you now know what the pain is. You have to solve it, right? You have to solve the pain. And remember, a product, an information product, is solving one problem, right? Solve one problem. So you don't have to solve every problem. You've got to solve one problem, and you got to solve it right. So you find out what the pain is, and you solve one problem. Now, how do you solve the problem? In other words, is this something that you know how to do so that the problem is solved because you can tell somebody how to solve it? In Gerald's case, if Gerald's prospects have pain, can Gerald tell them exactly how they can get more customers, right? Can he give them one solution to give them more customers so they'll buy this information? Can you get the result? Can you research the result? So in other words, can you find the best practices? Can you find the best possible solution and put it into an information product? Often, sometimes you can actually get this information through master resale rights, through going to webinars, through going training. Research the result. So in other words, what you're bringing to people when you create a product is a result. Okay, so you're not bringing to people, okay, how to learn about Facebook or how to learn about YouTube. Those are wonderful if they solve a problem. Is everybody with me? So is everybody with me about solving a problem? One product, one problem. That key to your making even one sale is that you need to solve a problem that somebody has. If you understand what I'm saying right now, put the number 4 in the question box. Solving one problem, right? You don't have to solve 10 problems. You don't have to solve all their problems. You just need to solve one. You find the one that they're most desperate to solve, and you're going to solve one problem. One. If you know how to solve one problem that parents have, if you know how to solve one problem that married couples have, if you know how to solve one problem that guys who are trying to date somebody have, well, there's a I don't even know what you would call it. There's a gentleman who sells products to men, right? Older men who don't know how to talk to women, right? Older men, right? And so he's solving their pain. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you some of that here in a minute so to make this real to you. Now, if you can't get the result, now watch this now. Now watch this. Understand what I'm saying here. I am not saying go and get an interview. Do an interview product. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you go to get an interview, can you go and get an expert that you can interview that will help you to solve one problem? Right? Not an interview, not a general interview, not an interview based on personality, but can you find an expert that can help? And whether or not you do it through an interview, whether or not you do it through an information product, or you have that person speaking, but if you can't get the result, if you can't research the result, you get an expert. Is everybody clear? So you have to, first of all, you got to solve a problem. And second of all, you got to get the result to solve the problem. If you can't get the result yourself, you do some research on best practices. If that doesn't work for you, you go and get an expert. And listen, if you can do all 3 of these, that's even better. Now, this is going to be a little more advanced, right? This is an advanced solution. The problem solved by software or automation, right? Now, if you don't know how to do programming and you don't know how to create customer interfaces, you may need to get a partner to do this. And you're going to have to find the right partner. Now, one of the things about software is you got to be willing to stand behind it and support it. Right now, that's just the name of the game in software. Software is not just selling it. Software is standing behind it. Right? Software is training on it to make sure people know how to use it. So software does sell better, but you have to be willing to stand behind it. Now, that being said, you can find automation solutions even if you're not a programmer. And I talked about this in my last video, where you can actually go to a place like Code Canyon. You can go to a place like, I think it's called Code Monkeys. You can go to and find open source software. But whatever you do, if you do not know how to create customer interfaces, if you're going to do software to solve a problem, find a partner who does. Right? If this makes sense to you, put the number 5 in the question box. Right? If you understand what I'm talking about by creating a software product. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. Are there any questions? Do you have questions? Okay, because now software will sell, and you can create a software product. Right? You can find software solutions on Code Canyon. But you're going to have a developer to finish, and you should have someone who knows software to help you if you don't know how to do it. Okay, now, you're going to have to bring the customer up to the solution. So in other words, let's say that your solution is on getting traffic, right? Everybody's familiar with that. But now, how many of you, when you first started internet marketing, if somebody gave you a traffic product, but you didn't know how to, let's say, get a domain name and get hosting, that would have been a problem. And so what you have to do is you still got to bring your customer up to the point where they're going to be able to experience your solution. Why? Why do I say that? Don't do that, folks. Because if you don't do that, you are not going to necessarily have somebody who's going to want to buy that second product. But if you are in the habit, in your information products, in your software products, of taking your customers and bringing them up to your solution, you will have them looking for your next solution, right? Because you are actually taking, listen, here's what Eben Pagan said in, I think it was in Guru Mastermind, and I'll never forget it. I shouldn't forget it. This was like a $2,000 course, but this one thing was worth it, right? You in an information product, you have got to take responsibility for your customer being able to take responsibility. Now I'm going to say that again so that I want you to kind of think through it as I kind of talk you through it. In your information product, you have to take responsibility for your customer taking responsibility. And one of the ways in which you do that is you bring them up to the solution, and you bring them up to the solution by making sure that they are trained, making sure that they have all the newbie information they need in order to experience and enjoy your product. If this makes sense to you, please put the number 6 in the question box. Bringing the customer up. Right? If you understand what I mean by now again, you don't have to do this, right? You don't have to do this, but what I'm telling you right now, when I have people looking for your next solution, right? If you don't do this, what's going to happen is then I'm not going to need to buy your next solution because I know you'll probably leave me just as confused as you did the first product you sold me. But if you are in the habit in your products by bringing people up to your solution, they will then reward you typically by getting your next thing because you're actually helping them to solve their problem, right? And so you've always got to be in that habit. You've always got to go the extra mile. Now, how do you do that? Well, that's where guys like me come in. Listen, when I create PLR products, your PLR products are really designed. Listen, I want you to get this. I want you to hear me on this now. I know you can buy PLR and you can put it up for sale and you can put it in your, you can put it up and you can sell it, right? I know that. What I'm going to tell you is this, and I don't care, and I, even if I tell you this, that's not the highest and best use for PLR. It's not. The highest and best use of PLR is for you to build up the products that you create, or even building up other products that you are going to sell by helping your customer, by bringing them up to your solution, and by giving them every possible alternative in terms of being able to understand what it is you're saying, right? That's what PLR is for, in my opinion. And that's from a PLR creator, right? I'm telling you that. So I agree. I agree with people who say that, David, you should see my slide presentation. Right, you should see my slide presentation. I agree with people who say that you can sell PLR out of the box, and that you can put up your sales page. Can I be real? Let me be real with you. That I do not. I think that if that's all you're doing with your PLR, I think that if that's all you're doing, you're not getting your money's worth. Right? The way you get your money's worth with PLR is to create your own product and to put the PLR on the inside. Right? Does everybody understand what I mean about PLR? And I want to make this point because this is not hard to do. How many of you have bought an information product and somebody starts, in other words, they start at a point at which you don't even understand where they are. You up to that first point. How many of you all have ever had that happen, where you buy a product and you're starting at a point where you have no idea about the starting point? I have had that experience. And so that is why I am telling you that you want to make sure that when you create your product, you want to make sure that you bring your customer up. If your customer needs to understand how to build a WordPress site, you don't have to teach all that. That's why you go and get PLR and master resale rights of courses that teach people how to build a WordPress site. That's not your job in your information product, right? Your job in your information product is to solve my problem, right? Your job is not to now, and that's not to say that showing people how to build a WordPress site is not a big deal. A PLR is private label rights, ebooks, master resale rights, and it's other ebooks and digital content lance that information marketers will give to you. Right? Private label rights. That's right. Now, let's talk about this for a second, because we're just about at this point that we're going to be cutting out of here. So what kind of problems can you solve? Okay, now I'm going to show you this in a minute, and it's going to blow your mind. Okay, if your money, hobbies, or health, right? You need to go take a look at some of the products on ClickBank and see how people solve those problems. If a person's problem is they need cash, right? They need cash tomorrow, right? You show them how to do that. Go and check out some of the problems on products on Warrior Plus. See how they solve those problems. If a person needs to be better at the trade, or they need better tools, right? That problem is solved typically on JVZoo. Go and see how people solve those problems and model yourself after that. People who need to solve problems as a community. In other words, they need encouragement. They need the group. Those problems and products are typically done on Facebook. If you want to see how to create a product, right, where the community helps, go and look at one on Facebook. But again, when you do this, you're not going there to just kind of, you're not going there to be paralyzed by analysis, right? All you're looking to do is to see how they do it. How do they do it? Because you're going to do the same thing in your product and in your niche. Is everybody clear on that? Does everybody know what I mean by going and taking a look at these things? First of all, please, please don't go buying any of this stuff, right? I'm not telling you to go buy this stuff. I'm telling you to go here. Number one, not to buy stuff. Number two, not to be paralyzed looking at stuff forever, right? And ask me how I know. Ask me how I know that that could happen to you. Because I know it can happen to you because it'll happen to me. Okay, so if you want to know if the kind of problem you need to solve is a what if problem or how problem, you go and see how they do that on Amazon Kindle. Amazon Kindle books are typically directed toward people who want to know what if this thing happens and how do I do this? Typically, now I'm generalizing. People who want to know why, and here's one of the reasons I want to kind of talk to you about this, about blogging, right? About blogging. And blogging is a blessing and a curse. Blogging can bring you traffic. Blogging can bring you loyal fans. Blogging can bring people that really like you. But blogs by themselves will not make you money, right? Because these are why question people. Blogs typically, again, I'm not saying that you can't get a how-to on a blog. I'm saying that people who want to know why, they go to blogs. And why does not necessarily translate into, I got to solve this problem now. Does that make sense to you? Right? That's typically why bloggers have to do other stuff in order to make money. Right? And again, I'm generalizing. I understand I'm generalizing. But if you understand what I'm saying, put the number 8 in the question box. Okay? Amazon Kindle makes sales because people want to answer the questions, well, what if I do this? And how do I do this? And so they go and they buy a Kindle book, right? But people who want to know, well, why is this happening? Why do I have to do this? Why does this work that way? They go to blogs and read that stuff. And that's great information. And it actually will bring prospects to you, right? What a blog does is it actually positions you as an expert because you can explain the reason why something happens, and it really does position you as an expert. It just may or may not necessarily make you direct sales. Okay, now, okay, and then what and how to is typically answered on YouTube. Now, okay, now, so we're at 9:35, and here's what you're going to do for the next call. Okay, you need to find one problem in one niche that you can solve. Again, this product does not have to be a work of art. You need to get done. Right? Is everybody with me? We're getting done with this. We're not going to try to find the perfect solution. We're not trying to create the perfect product. We're going to get done. And so your task for the next time is to find one problem in one niche that you can solve. Okay? And here are the guidelines. Try to find the problem that people are most desperate to solve. Try to find a problem that you can't easily solve with one internet search. Right? Try to find a problem that requires multiple steps for them to get relief, because you're going to give them the multiple steps. Try to find a problem that not everybody agrees with. It needs to not be something that everybody says, oh yeah, that's exactly the way, because if everybody agrees with it, it's not going to sell. right? And matter of fact, it should be a little controversial because it should weed out certain people, right? Shouldn't work for everybody, right? Does everybody understand what I'm saying? If you understand what I'm saying so far about finding this one problem, I want you to put the number 9 in the question box. One problem. Not everybody needs to agree with the solution. As a matter of fact, not everybody should agree with it. Now, it should have a degree of difficulty. In other words, it shouldn't be easy, right? Because if it's just, well, you know what, just take a little, do some toe touches and drink a cup of coffee in the morning, and that'll solve it. That's all it is. Then it's not going to be worth buying, right? It should have some difficulty to it. You're trying to solve one problem in one niche. Okay, now here's I want to show you this as we close out. And I did a little bit of this last time. Excuse me, but I want to do this again. Okay. Okay, how many of you all can see my screen right now? If you can see my screen, put the letter Y in the question box. Right, if you can see my screen, okay. Okay. Now, does this solve everybody's problem? Does this solve everybody's problem? No, it doesn't. But do you think it has a degree of difficulty, right? For the people who are going to opt in? Of course it does. Right? Statistics say that most young men are absolutely paralyzed when it comes to talking to women. Right? And I know that some of the women are probably rolling their eyes right now. But there are absolutely guys who will absolutely go and opt into this page. This is what I'm talking about, right? This is what I'm talking about. And what you've got to do is, this is the kind of problem you have to solve. The people who want to solve this problem, would you agree? Would you agree that the dudes who come to this page, however they get there, they want to solve this problem? Would you agree with that? If you would agree with that, I want you to put the letter Y in the question box. Would you agree they want to solve this problem? The dudes that come to this page, yes, they do. Right. And so this is the kind of problem in your niche. Exactly. Desperate. They're desperate. Because for whatever reason, they're desperate. They want to solve this. And so this is the kind of thing you have to do in your niche, right? So I want you to look at this, and I want you to be thinking about this page as you start to think about how you're going to solve your problem. Right now, next. Okay. How many of you all have heard? How many of you all have heard that master's degrees are working at Starbucks? How many of you all have heard that? Right. If you've heard that, put the number 9 in the question box. If you've heard that there are a lot of people with master's degrees and PhDs working at Starbucks, put the number 9 in the question box. I've heard that. Right. And so do you think that this book is speaking to people's pain? Right? So do you understand what I mean? It's not a matter of just writing a book. Right? It's not just about writing a book and putting it on Kindle and publishing your book. You want to have whatever it is you do. If your information product is a book, it needs to speak to people's what? Their pain. Do you think that this book is speaking to people's pain? Do you think that this book will speak to people who have master's degrees and PhDs? Of course it does, right? Of course it does. Now I showed this next one. I showed this next one on the last call that I did, and I want you to look at it. The 10-day green smoothie cleanse. When do people want to lose weight? Right? When do they want to have, they want to lose weight yesterday, right? Do you think that this book speaks to people's pain? Let me just kind of show you. Okay, how many reviews do you see? How many customer reviews do you see there? Anybody, just type it in. Do you think that people are interested in this book? Right? How many people, how many customer reviews has this book have? Is that amazing or what? Right? Because people, they've got 5,472 customer views. What if I told you now if you were if you saw my call the other day, you'd be cheating at this point. But I'd like for you to take a guess as to how many people are in, what's her name? JJ Smith's Facebook group. How many people do you think she has looking at her stuff every day? Just take a guess. And if you were on the call or you saw my YouTube video the other day, don't answer because you're cheating. Okay, take a guess. What if I told you that she has 600,000? 600,000. Do you think that JJ Smith is speaking to people's pain? Of course she is. Now, this one doesn't have as many, but do you think this book speaks to people's pain? How to get a fair DUI. Do you think that might be a little controversial? Do you think everybody agrees with people trying to get some help here? Probably not. That's why this solution is perfect. Right? That's why this solution is perfect. Now, one of the things I want you to do as you start thinking about, I want you to go to, I'm going to put this thread into the box here. And it's called, and I just want you, I don't want you to read the whole thread, but there's a friend of mine, his name is John Spangler. Now, John Spangler had a thread on the Warrior Forum back in 2011. This is years ago. It is the most epic thread on the Warrior Forum. And John Spangler spoke to people's pain. And one of the things I want you to do is I want you to read his initial post. Right? I want you to read his initial post. Because that is going to tell you everything you need to know about speaking to people's pain. Okay. Now I could go on and on. 9:46 right now, and so what we're going to do is we're going to stop right now. And what I want you to do between now and the next session is I just want you to decide on a problem that you can solve. And again, you don't have to hit a home run with this. You find the problem that people are most desperate to solve that you can get a solution to. Why is everybody with me? Okay, again, We're not. If you knock it out the park, great. But if you don't, that's fine. Okay, no, the next session is going to be on Thursday. On Thursday. Nope, I'm not going to let you off until next Tuesday. No. If I let you off till next Tuesday, you'll never finish. So Thursday, you have until Thursday. So I want you to jump off the call and find a problem you can solve. Okay, those are your marching orders. No, you don't have to have the product created by Thursday. Just find the problem. Find the problem you're going to solve. Find the problem you're going to solve by creating your product. If you want to get a jump on it, Helen, get a jump on it. That's great. But at minimum, find the problem. One problem, not more than one. We're going to solve one problem with the product. So no, you don't have to have the product created, but you should have the problem that the product is going to solve. Okay. All right, so are there any questions? Okay, everybody. Well, thank you very much for being here. I will see you again on Thursday. So let's go ahead. Let's get going. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you very much. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.